It's so easy to let life go by and have so many festering emotions and issues and feelings and things that we just don't tell people, and it eats us alive on the inside. If we don't get that out, we can let those things totally consume us, and it doesn't have to be that way. I'm of the opinion that playing it cool is stupid, and this is why I will never do that again. Let's set the scene. I'm 23 years old now, and when I was, how old was I? I was 16. I had had a crush on someone for years in high school, and then finally on the last day of junior year, I wrote them a letter saying my feelings, and I did multiple drafts of this letter. Like, I did a typed out version, and then I hand wrote it a few times to get it completely perfect and say everything that I've been thinking that I wanted to say. It was someone in my friend group, so it made everything more complicated. And on the last day of junior year, I gave them this letter. And I got rejected. And I know that's probably not where you thought this was gonna go, because why would that give someone the confidence to never play it cool again? And since then, I have told every single person that I've had a crush on that I liked them. And this is what that experience taught me, okay? Is you can get your ass handed to you by someone and like get so rejected and still be okay. Now listen, I needed like a few days of just like, oh my god, sorry, I'm getting hives, I need to put my hair up. When something bad happens in my life, I don't get an opportunity, I bomb a test, I get rejected by someone that I was interested in, I give myself a little bit of time to be completely sad about it. Because listen, if you don't let yourself feel all the feelings that you feel, they're gonna come up later. If you don't let those out when they come up, they're gonna get pushed down, and then eventually it's all gonna bubble over and you're gonna be a mess. And you're probably a mess right now in those few days where you're letting yourself be really sad, but it's different. So I'm 16 and I have my few days to be completely sad. This is also in this time period I end up coming out to my mom. Because she was like, why are you so sad? And I had to explain the whole situation. But after this period, the world didn't end. I was head over tea kettle in love with this person, like the biggest, most intense crush I've probably ever had, and I got rejected and I was fine, and the world kept turning, and I still had friends, and there were still good things in the world. And the fact that this person didn't like me wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it would be. I always thought growing up that if you tell someone you like them and it goes poorly, like the world is over. But this whole experience taught me that playing it cool is such a waste of time, and spending all this time wondering like, does this person like me? Do they not? Are they nice to everyone like this? Or is it special for me because I'm so sweet and cute and they like me? You can waste so much time being in your head and trying to figure someone else out. And listen, a piece of advice my older sister told me is, if you have a problem with me and you don't tell me, we don't have a problem. And that's only kind of related to what I'm talking about now. But playing it cool in really any situation is not something that I'll really do anymore, because I have wasted so much time in my life. I'm only 23 now, but I wasted so much time in my life playing it cool, acting like things don't bother me, or trying to seem like I don't like someone when I really do. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it, because you waste so much time wondering. You know, like you'll spend so much time keeping something to yourself that really bothers you that your roommate does, and you never tell them, and then you're quietly getting like really mad at them and all this stuff, and they have no idea. Like, if we're just open with how we feel, it in the moment can suck. I'm so sorry, I just have horrible hives right now, but what are you gonna do? I have a lot of health issues. It's so easy to let life go by and have so many festering emotions and issues and feelings and things that we just don't tell people, and it eats us alive on the inside. If we don't get that out, we can let those things totally consume us, and it doesn't have to be that way. And there is so much benefit to communicating how you feel, even if it ends poorly, because at least then you know. At least then you know, you know what, this is someone that I don't want in my life, or you know what, they don't like me, it's time to start focusing on myself, or maybe find another crush. But I'm in a relationship now, and one of the things I like most about this person is that they're so forthright. There's never any, how do they feel, what are they thinking, do they like me, do they think I look pretty today, like all this kind of stuff. It's just, life is so much easier when you just communicate and are open about how you feel. And I understand that there's a lot of nuance to this, and there are situations where this is not true, and there are situations where it can be dangerous to say how you feel and be open about who you are. But by and large, I feel like there is so much to gain from just living life, being your true authentic self, and having the courage to show up and have people choose to take it or leave it. You know what I mean? Like, we can waste a lot of life trying to conform to what we think someone wants, or trying to make our own needs smaller so that we don't bother anyone, or never acting on something that we always wondered what could happen if we followed that path. You just gotta do you. And I know that this is like so vague and all over the place, but I promise you, playing it cool, acting like you don't care about things, it's just, I don't want to say it's not the right way to live, because like, what do I know? But for me, it's really not the right way to live. And I think a lot of us would be free from the mental torture that we have every day if we would just say what we feel and be who we are, and let that have devastating outcomes, because we know that eventually it will all be okay. Because sometimes things get really fucking bad, or you get really rejected, or someone doesn't like you back, or someone doesn't want to be your friend because they don't like who the real you is. They only liked who you were when you were dimming your personality. Yeah, those things suck, but it sucks a whole lot more to live your life and look back on it and know there was something you could have done that would have made your soul ultimately happier. But I think it's even worse to look back on your life and see all the time wasted, and all the mental agony and torture and questioning and wondering, am I good enough? Do they like me? Should I go out for this thing? Should I apply for this? And realize that you never took those chances because you were too afraid of what would happen, and that you were too afraid of the outcome being negative. Because listen, when you put yourself out there, when you're open about who you are, when you don't play it cool, you put yourself at risk, because people can see who you are and they might say, I reject this, I don't want this. And it fucking sucks, and it might be like the worst pain you've ever felt, but you let yourself feel that, and then you get right back up again and go out for the next thing. And I don't know, I just wanted to share this because I think it's so dumb. And I was thinking about it mostly in terms of dating and acting like you don't care, and kind of being like mysterious about your feelings and all that. I just have no time for that, and I have no time for people like that. And I don't want to be that type of person either. And I know I'm not, because I would argue that I'm almost a little too open with how I feel. Like, anytime I have a crush on someone, I will tell them. And I have got rejected so many times, like so many times. And it used to really, really kill me. I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, I must be so ugly, I must be like all these things. But at the end of the day, I ripped the band-aid off. I told these people, I have a crush on you, I think you're cute, would you like to get coffee? And if they said no, that's okay. Like, the worst that happens is someone rejects you, and I know that that's so devastating, but it's also not the worst thing in the world. And I think in order to live a life that is most true to ourselves, and the kind of life that we ultimately want to have, we got to start showing up as who we are and being unapologetically ourselves, and not playing it cool.